Today I'm going to show you how to fill a kerosene heater. This is going to be the basics on fueling a kerosene heater and all about the kerosene fuel and the fueling process. So if you have a kerosene heater made like this one, you've got your fuel gauge, and you've got your little chain cap like that, like that. I'm going to show you how to fuel it. I'm going to tell you how to test the fuel. Sometimes gas stations, if you're buying kerosene from gas stations, sometimes they will get the kerosene mixed up and put it in a fuel truck that carries gasoline, and that's what they call contaminated kerosene. Contaminated kerosene, all it is kerosene that's been hauled in a tanker that's hauled gasoline. Now, kerosene and gasoline and diesel is all refined from the same crude oil. Now, the only difference between K1 and K2, one is a diesel and one is kerosene. But now gasoline, when you get to gasoline, it is a higher octane, less oil, and it ignites faster. So this is why you don't want to get your kerosene and your gasoline mixed up. You don't want to put them in the same jugs. You always want to use a separate jug. Sometimes there'll be a new person driving the fuel truck, and they'll get the tanks mixed up and put the fuels in the wrong tanks, and they'll get contaminated with gasoline. And all that's basically doing is making kerosene too high of an octane to burn on a wick. It makes it explosive. So you do not want to mix that, and sometimes this does happen, and a lot of times there is recalls. And one way to check your kerosene after you buy it from a fueling station is you want to get you a paper cup, put you about that much fuel, pour about that much fuel in the bottom of a paper cup, and take it outside and put it on a piece of dry concrete. Pour a little bit out on a piece of dry concrete, and be in a place where there's no wind and there's nothing to catch on fire, and then take a lighter and strike it to it. And if the kerosene ignites real quickly, then it's contaminated with gasoline. Now if it's just kerosene only, it won't ignite because the oil, it won't have high enough octane, and it'll be more oil based, and it won't you won't be able to get it to burn unless you put it on a wick. That's one way to test. If you're in an emergency and you don't know the difference between kerosene and gasoline, gasoline will ignite on concrete. If you pour a little on a piece of concrete outside that's dry, it will ignite with a lighter. Kerosene is more oil based, lower octane. It's made for just wick use. It shouldn't ignite unless it's on a wick. If it does, it means the octane is way too much to be burning on inside of a heater. So we're going to show you how to fuel one. You always want to keep your kerosene in a blue kerosene jug. You never want to use a gasoline jug. Anytime you're messing with kerosene, you always keep it separate. You never want to get it crossed up. Now, this is what a kerosene pump looks like. These are what you really need. It's one of these pumps like this. Now the little top cap, always keep it open, the valve open. But when I go to pump, close the valve by turning it. Now, you want to take your cap off and put your hose in. You want to gradually squeeze until you start picking up fuel. And all you're doing is very slow. You'll be able to see the valves open and close. You'll keep doing this. You want to do it slow because it does add up pretty quickly. You want to watch your fuel gauge. Your fuel gauge will start slowly moving. So you want to keep a watch on your hose. You want to make sure none of it starts backing up here. So you just keep pumping it slow. It'll only come out as you pump. It'll slowly drain. But you just slowly pump it. You want to keep a watch on it. Now this kerosene heater, it has a spill tray in case if you do, but I'm going to show you how to not spill it, especially if you have a house that's all carpeted or a workshop or something that's got all carpet in it. It's not recommended to fuel them on the carpet, but I don't have any other place to fuel. Everything is carpet. So I'm going to show you how to fuel without spilling it. Now we're going to keep watch on this fuel gauge. Now you don't want to get into the red. You want to get to this first line, the red first part. It'll slowly start coming up. Now you want to do this with the heater off. You don't want to have the heater on. Keep the fuel on. And you keep a check on your hose. Make sure none of the fuel's backing up the hose. As long as you got a slow and steady movement of fuel, then you're doing alright. You always want to keep an extra kerosene pumps around. You don't want to ever try to fuel a kerosene heater by just pouring it in directly out of a jug. It's always better to use a pump. It's better to do this slow than fast. Now you can see that we're starting to get up to the full mark. Now that's where we need to end at. Come down here and watch your hose. Make sure there's no fuel backed up here. And always keep your hose in there. But you don't pull your hose out yet. You're going to come back up here. You're going to turn your open valve back up and open the valve up by unscrewing that. And you're going to you're going to give it a slight squeeze. You're going to bring it up out of the fuel and make sure there's no fuel in either tube. Now, once the valve's cleared up here, there's no fuel up there, no fuel in the tube, no fuel in that, all the vacuum's out, then you can let this back down, and then you'll go back over here. Well, make sure to keep your valve open Now there's nothing coming out. So now we can pick this hose up, turn it up, and then we can put it in here. And now we can pick this jug up and we can carry it outside or wherever we need to. Then we can pull the hose out, screw the lid back on. That's the way you don't spill any fuel. And then you can go back, put your cap on. And then you're fueled up without any spills or anything like that. Now you've got your jug with your pump in it. There won't be any fuel in this, so wherever you take and store your jug at, you can take it and store it and change it out and put your hose, hang your hose up wherever you need to hang it up. And that's how you fuel the kerosene heater without spilling any. And that's the way that you can keep from wasting any kerosene.